Hello, this is Briar. Welcome to part 5 of the Nano Beats series where I'm looking at the act of writing NaNoWriMo through the lens of the structure from the beats from Save the Cat. Today we are looking at the beat that is almost everyone's favorite, beat number 8, the fun and games. This is the beat that, for better or worse, sees our hero navigating their way through the Act 2 world, whether that be successfully finding their footing in a new world, in a new area of their life, or whether they're stumbling and falling and just sort of making a mess of everything. This is one of the longest beats because it takes you from the very beginning of Act 1 to the midpoint, the middle point of your story. So this is very clearly multi-scenes. It's a lot of different things are happening. There's a lot of different actions, a lot of building momentum in this beat. This beat can generally go one of two ways. Either your hero is successfully settling into their Act 2 world, they have a couple of stumbles, a couple of try-fail cycles that they fail, but mostly they're doing pretty good. They're on an upward momentum. Or they are stumbling in the dark and lighting things on fire and falling on their face, and they might have a couple of successes, but then they quickly fall right back on their face and they're on a downward momentum in their new world. So either way, this character is doing things. They're constantly taking actions. They're trying new things. They're trying to move forward. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes the fun and games beat is also referred to as the promise of the premise, because when you are creating a story, you're coming up with a premise. You're coming up with the world and how you're going to explain this to other people. So if, like, the story that I'm writing is a slasher story where they're trapped in a mall on Halloween and people are dying. So my fun and games beat is a lot of them being trapped in a mall, them dealing with the fact that there's a killer running around and people are dying. That's my fun and games. Not necessarily fun for the characters, but fun for the readers. In the act of writing NaNoWriMo, when you are the writer and this is your story, the fun and games beat is really, again, that building momentum. Building up or building down depends on the year, depends on your situation. But this is where you are trying to hit that daily word count. You are trying to get to the middle point of your story. You're trying to get to 25K by the 15th. And you're just trying to do all of the writing. Now, this might be a lot of success. You might be hitting flow, getting those daily word counts, writing so many words that you're surprising yourself. It might also be less of an upswing in your story, in your personal story, and it might be more of a backslide where you're trying to hit that word count, but you're never making it. You are going to writing events, and instead of doing writing, you get distracted and end up socializing the entire time and walk out with 0 new words added to your manuscript. You might be having a lot of 0 days where you're not getting those words because other things are taking priority. I think of the fun and games of the NaNoWriMo writing experience as being akin to balancing spinning plates. So I'm sure you've seen those people in shows and performances where they're holding a stick and they start spinning a plate on it. And then you add more sticks and more plates and they're balancing it all and you're looking at them wondering, how in the world are you doing that? It's an interesting show for sure. But if you're on an upswing and you're doing really well at the beginning of the month, then you've got several plates going and you're keeping everything moving smoothly. If you're on a downswing and you're not doing so hot at the beginning of the month, you've got one plate spinning, you try to set up another one and your first one falls, your second one falls, maybe you get 1 or 2 going, and sometimes they fall, you get them back up, and it's just a lot of mess to clean up on the floor. Personally, this year, I've got a lot of debris on the floor from trying to spin too many plates at once. I'm doing a lot of different projects, including this one. I'm trying to write the 50K, which I'm getting so close to caught up for. That's a lie. I've still got like 10,000 words behind just to make up for today, but it's fine. We'll work on it later. There's so much to do, but that's fine. We're still only in the first half of the month, and there's a lot more left to come. So for the fun and games, for our novelist in our meta exploration of writing NaNoWriMo, they might be going through a couple of different things. Try, fail, try, succeed. Let's see how their momentum is swinging. Are they on an upswing to the midpoint or a downswing? Working with the Bard on NaNoWriMo brought a new series of unexpected events into the novelist's life. They had always been a solo writer, but the Bard was absolutely not. They expected to spend some evenings sharing a video call and writing together, things that would not push them too far outside the schedule of writing they had already set up. But then, after 2 days of writing online with the Bard after work, as they had expected, there was an unexpected knock at their door. The novelist and their roommate stared at each other, confused, and the knocking came again, more persistently, and in some tune the novelist didn't recognize. They groaned and stood up to answer it.
Hey, I had a great idea to inspire us to do our writing today.
The Bard stood on their doorstep, smiling, with a laptop bag draped over their shoulder. The novelist blinked. Did you tell me you were coming over and I just forgot?
Oh no, this is totally unplanned. I just thought it would be great for us to get out and write instead of meeting online. And I found out there was a group meeting today at the library, and I called and they have a couple seats still open. Apparently there's a cap on how many can attend, so I reserved our seats.
The novelist shook their head in confusion and stepped back into the apartment to let the Bard in. Okay, you're gonna need to explain what's happening.
There are these writing groups that meet where people get together in the same room and write together. It's no pressure, no one is reading it, it's just like what we do online, but in person.
Why don't we just write online like usual though?
Well, we can write online all week, but it's the weekend. We're both off work and you said you wanted to write a lot more this weekend, so let's try something different.
The novelist felt their stomach clench and spin with anxiety. When is this happening?
1 p.m. So we have about an hour and a half, and the library is a 20-minute drive away. I want to be a bit early too, so can you be ready to go in an hour?
Their roommate wandered past into the kitchen, rolling their eyes.
Let's get ready then.
The novelist couldn't say no in the face of the Bard's smiling face, and to their surprise, they wrote twice as many words in a 2-hour mixed writing and social time with these new people. Then, despite having days where work took over and they couldn't write more than a few hundred words, they still had days writing with the Bard and the writing group they had found that bumped their word count above and beyond what they expected. Before they knew it, they had almost 3 days of buffer to protect them if they fell behind. To go from starting the month unable to sleep because they were struggling so much to write, the novelist was starting to really believe in their ability to write 50K in 30 days. They weren't even behind at work. Everything was going great for them. Hopefully their success would hold out for the next few weeks. Well, it looks like our novelist is trending up. They are doing pretty well this NaNoWriMo so far. Looks like finding and connecting with their friend the Bard from the B Story beat is seeing them a lot of success so far. So next time we will get to the midpoint and talk about how this is once again the place where everything changes for our hero. That should be up on the 15th, midpoint in November, and I will see you all in that one.